What's up interweb? Raikkonen here and welcome to my team builder video for PPL Division 2 Season 3 Week 8, and this week we are playing the Accrington, Stantler and Ellie. Now, links are going to be down below in the description to my opponent. I implore you to go and check those out. Ellie is a very good battler and someone I'm not underestimating in the slightest, even though she's having somewhat of a lackluster season for her standards anyway. But if we take a quick look at the league table right now, you can see that we are down in 10th right now into Pittsburgh Pirattatas, and the Accrington Stantler, who we're playing, are actually in 9th. We have a chance to overtake them. If we beat Ellie by 3-0 or more, then we actually overtake her, and we can go up into 9th, which would be spectacular. But the league table as a whole is ridiculously close right now. Like, you can see the top 3 teams are 5 and 2, but if any of those top 3 teams lose, and any of the 4 and 3 teams that you see going down into 7th, if any of them win, and any of the top 3 teams lose, then they automatically are, like, catching them straight away. It is unbelievably close right now, and there's 4 weeks left of games, so none of those teams can really afford to slip up. And let's not count out as well 8th and 9th, the Harlem Gloomtrotters and Accrington Stantler, because if they win out the season, they're still in with a shot of potentially, you know, reaching automatic promotion or maybe even the playoff match. So it's... Phone, shush. No, not right now. Phone. Shh. Stop that. Phone. Thank you. Anyway, yeah, so the league table is ridiculously close right now, and none of the teams can really afford to slip up, and that's including our opponents this week. The teams that could potentially be brought to this game are quite something. So if you don't know, my team, the Pittsburgh Pirattatas, that I can potentially bring to this game is Garchomp, Ferrothorn, Keldeo, Entei, Helolisk, Mega Sableye, Skuntank, Cresselia, Spinder, and Raticate. And my opponent's team for this week, Ellie, can potentially bring to this game Zapdos, Talonflame, Crocodile, Starmie, Hariyama, Scolipede, Gardevoir, Jellicent, and Ditto. So, some pretty scary stuff, all in all. Zapdos is a mod I don't like playing against, it's just really good. Talonflame is really scary and outspeeds my whole team. Crocodile, again, really spooky. You know, they have very good knockoff switch-ins, aside from one, but then it doesn't want to switch into Earthquake and stuff. Starmie, again, outspeeds my whole team and has really nice coverage. Hariyama is just an absolute powerhouse. Scolipede can pass speed around, and I don't like that. The Gardevoir, again, pretty scared of that thing. And the Jellicent is annoyingly bulky. And then Ditto, just to ruin all my plans, because you basically, when your opponent has Ditto, you don't only prep for your opponent, you have to prep against yourself as well. Because if you think, if Ditto comes in and transforms into any one of my Pokemon, how am I going to deal with it? That's basically a thought process you have to have when building against it. So I don't like building against Ditto, but I've done my best. So let's take a look at the team that I have brought to try and take on the Accrington Stantler. So, the first mon that I have elected to bring is Mahai the Garchomp, holding the Choice Scarf, with rough skin, with 68 in HP, max attack, and 188 in speed, with an adamant nature, Outrage, Poison Jab, Dragon Claw, and Stone Edge being the moves. Now, this Garchomp is pretty damn nice, because once Gardevoir is out of the way, I can spam Outrage across the entire team. If Ditto wants to come in, nope, Outrage that thing straight in the face, unless of course it's a clean switch, in which case I don't really want to be locked into Outrage, because if the Ditto is also scarfed, it will outspeed me and can outrage me right back, and I don't like that. So I probably don't want to be locking myself into Outrage until Gardevoir's out the way and Ditto's out the way. But regardless, I have enough speed investment on this Garchomp to outspeed a max speed Scarfed Gardevoir, so I can outspeed it and Poison Jab it in the face, which does a huge amount of damage. I have Stone Edge just to be able to hit the Zapdos a little bit harder, because if she brings like a physically defensive Zapdos, I can hit that slightly harder with the Stone Edge, and also that's not a contact move, so I won't be getting static paralysis if she does bring a static Zapdos, which I'm expecting. Basically that's what the Garchomp's there for, just spam dragon moves once the Gardevoir and the Ditto's out of the way. It could potentially be late game cleanup for this Garchomp. And also something nice about this Garchomp is if Ditto transforms into it, I can just go straight into my Ferrothorn because it can't touch it. Spoilers. the next one I'm bringing is Ferrothorn. Next one on the team is Spike the Ferrothorn, holding the leftovers with max HP, foreign attack, and max defense, relaxed nature, Gyro Ball, Stealth Rock, Substitute, and Leech Seed. Yes, I'm bringing Subseed Ferrothorn. I'm the worst kind of person. I also have Gyro Ball because she has quite a lot of quick things, especially when you have consider the likes of Scolipede. It does a lot of damage. And yeah, Gyro Ball just does a really nice amount to the team. The only thing it doesn't really touch is the Jellicent. But unless the Jellicent has like an HP Fire, it's not going to be doing all that much damage to my Ferrothorn, even though I'm not, you know, especially defensive. Uninvested Shadow Ball doesn't do that much, and I can kind of Subseed all over that Jellicent's face, which is going to be great. I'm expecting quite a lot of fire coverage on my opponent's side. I'm thinking Zapdos with the Heat Wave, Talonflame obviously with this Fire Stab, Crocodile, yeah, might just stick with Earthquake, honestly, because it hits it neutrally. Starmie, I would fully expect to have HP Fire, or I might just stick with Ice Beam, potentially. The Hariyama will have its fighting coverage. The Scolipede, I'm not sure, honestly. Really not sure what the Scolipede can do against me. Gardevoir is absolutely going to bring HP Fire if she does bring it. The Jellicent might just bring Will-O-Wisp, honestly, to try and burn the Ferrothorn, which is not the worst thing in the world, because, you know, I do have my Gyro Ball, but if I can Subseed that off, that's not the worst thing. I also have Rocks, because Rocks really hurt the likes of Zapdos, Talonflame, Scolipede, and it wears everything else down, and her hazard removal is Starmie. And Defog Zapdos. Wow, almost forgot that one. So, she does have some pretty solid removal, but I still want the pressure of her to force her to remove them, especially if she brings Talonflame. She's going to want those rocks off the field, so if I can force her to spin / defog, gives me a free turn to do something. So I definitely felt like rocks were a good bring this week, and the Subseed is actually really, really nice. I can actually Subseed on quite a lot of things, depending on what coverage she brings, especially if there's something like Choice Mons floating around. It's gonna be quite good, hopefully. And what's nice about this Ferrothorn set is if Ditto wants to transform into that, it gets completely shut down by the next mon that I'm bringing, and that is, the Mega Sableye, holding, obviously, the Sable Knight with Prankster before it Megas, Magic Bounce once it does, with max HP, 204 in attack, and 52 in special defense with a Careful Nature, Shadow Sneak, Knockoff, Recover, and Will-O-Wisp. So, this Mega Sableye, I got quite a bit of attack investment, and the reason I have that attack investment is so I can 2-hit KO a Gardevoir with Shadow Sneak. So that's fun. Gardevoir wants to try and switch into my Mega Sableye. It's an offensive switch for sure. If she expects like a Recover or something and I go for Shadow Sneak, I can just 2-shot it straight up. Also have Knockoff, does quite a lot of damage to the team. Allows me to hit the likes of Jellicent, allows me to hit the likes of Starmie, and I can just knock off a lot of items. I don't want a lot of items being around on my opponent's side. I'd much rather get rid of them, and it's actually fairly decent damage, because, you know, it's stab. It's alright. And then I have Recover and Will-O-Wisp. I basically can't touch the Crocodile with the combination of Shadow Sneak and Knockoff, but that's why I have Will-O-Wisp. I can burn the Crocodile, which is obviously going to be really nice for me. And then just Recover, obviously, to get some HP back. What's nice about this Mega Sableye is, even though I only have a little bit of special defense investment, a Life Orb Dazzling Gleam from a Starmie does not 2-hit KO me, which is fantastic. It means I can recover up on it. I know I'm risking a crit, but I can recover up on it. Once I get to enough HP, I can knock it off, I can Shadow Sneak it, you know, and that Starmie's pretty neutered. I considered not running Will-O-Wisp from the fear of a Guts Hariyama, because I'm fully expecting a Guts Hariyama this week. I'm torn, actually. I'm torn between whether she's going to bring Thick Fat or Guts, because I feel like a max HP like Thick Fat Hariyama switches into Entei really well, but it doesn't want to get burnt, unless it has Thick Fat and Guts, which obviously it can't. So it could be like a Guts one to try and switch into Entei and get burns and stuff, and switch into Will-O-Wisp from Mega Sableye to get the Guts boost, but then she wouldn't have Thick Fat, so Sacred Fire does a huge amount of damage. But at the end of the day, even a Guts boosted Hariyama still can't really touch my Mega Sableye, so I wasn't too worried about it. And I can just, you know, recover up on it and gradually wear it down with Knockoff and Shadow Sneak, and it doesn't have any recovery, so I just recover up on it and, you know, Bob's your uncle. I can burn the Scolipede, which is nice. I can take, you know, one hit guaranteed from the Scolipede, even if it's a +2, pretty sure. I can take one hit from the Scolipede and I can burn it, which would be great. As long as it doesn't have Substitute, that would be less than ideal. And then, as I said, the Gardevoir, I can do a huge amount of damage, Shadow Sneak and Knock Off. Same with the Jellicent. If the Ditto comes in against me, I don't have the best switch into this Mega Sableye in the world. But what I can do is actually go on out into my Ferrothorn. I know I said that the Mega Sableye shuts down the Ferrothorn set. Give me 1 second, guys. Hold on. Sorry about that. I really hate being ill. Excuse me. But I know I said that the Mega Sableye shuts down the Ferrothorn set, which it does. But because she'd be a Ditto, she'd only have 5 PP of everything, and if she's choice, she only has 5 PP. So I can go on out into Ferrothorn, I can take literally any hit from this Mega Sableye, it can burn me, whatever, I don't care. And then I can sub up on it, and then just stay there. Get some lefties recovery back, and just kind of stay there. Obviously, I can't Rocks, I can't Seed while it's there. I could Gyro Ball for like 2 damage, but I don't really want to be wasting my Gyro Ball PP. So obviously, I can just stay there behind the Substitute, while the Mega Sableye just runs out of PP of whatever it's locked itself into. And it can just be a bit of a nuisance. Then when she switches out, I'm a Ferrothorn behind a Substitute. Like, I don't really care. She can waste the PP on it if she wants. Like, it's whatever, you know? So, yeah, that would be my plan, I think, if she does transform into Mega Sableye. But anyway, that is the Mega Sableye. Next one I'm bringing on the team is Burn Heal, the Entei, holding the choice band once again. With 52 in HP, max attack, 204 in speed with an Adamant Nature with extreme speed, Sacred Fire, Toxic, and Snarl. Interesting Entei. I don't really need any moves other than extreme speed and Sacred Fire. Those are literally the only moves I need to hit her team for the most amount of damage I could really do. Keeping the Bandit E-Speed again because it's just such good cleanup, I love it. Allows me to out-prioritize Talonflame's Brave Bird, for example. Allows me to hit the likes of the Starmie, and the Zapdos, and the Scolipede, and anything else that's getting out of control for big damage. The one thing I can't really touch with the combination of Extreme Speed and Sacred Fire is the Jellicent. That's why I have Toxic to try and wear that thing down. If she wants to try and switch in her Jellicent to me, I can do a Toxic predicting the switch. And that Jellicent is now Poison, which is fantastic. And that'll really help me. And then E-Speed just for late game cleanup, and Sacred Fire just hurts a lot of her team. If she brings like a defensive Zapdos, I'm outspeeding that. I have enough speed investment to outspeed max speed Gardevoir, is that right? I think I'm right with that. Yeah, I think it's max speed Gardevoir I outspeed. In case she brings like a max speed Scarf Gardevoir and I knock it off with Mega Sableye. And then she's just a max speed Gardevoir, I outspeed that with Entei, and I can Sacred Fire it and knock it out in one hit. I then have Snarl. I really didn't know what to put on as a 4th move on this Entei because I already had Toxic. Snarl I just put on just in case. If I wanted to sack my Entei and I wanted to get a Snarl off against something against the likes of, I don't know, Zapdos, or the Starmie, or the Gardevoir, the Jellicent, if Ditto's transformed into one of my special attackers, then one of my special attackers being 2 of them, then I can, you know, Snarl it before I die. Who knows when it might come in handy. There's almost no reason for me to click it because I'm going to be clicking E-Speed or Sacred Fire. But, you know, whatever. Is what it is. But that is Burn Heal the Entei. If Ditto transforms into Entei, I don't really have a very good switch into it. I have a couple in mind though, so we'll get onto those. But that is Burn Heal the Entei. Next one on the team is Sun Lizard the Helolisk, holding the Assault Vest once again with Dry Skin, 68 in HP, max special attack, and 188 in speed with a Timid Nature, with Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Hyper Voice, and Surf. Now, this Helolisk actually does pretty nice damage to most of her team. I can 2-shot the vast majority, aside from the Zapdos, the Hariyama, the Gardevoir, and if Ditto transforms into Helolisk, if it switches into me, I have a chance to 2-shot it with Hyper Voice, depending on its spread and all that stuff. But yeah, so that is the Helolisk there. The nice coverage I have on that allows me to hit basically everything. Thunderbolt, obviously, like one-shotting the Talonflame and potentially one-shotting the Starmie, things like that. Allows me to just get nice damage across the whole team. Her only normal immunity on the squad is Jellicent, and she has no resist outside of that, so Hyper Voice is kind of like a nice middle to spam across everything. If something is in range from Hyper Voice to die at the end, and if she wants to switch into something else, I can go for Hyper Voice, because most likely she's not going to be switching in to a Jellicent on a Helolisk, most likely. I then have Surf, and it was a toss-up between Surf and Grass Knot on this Helolisk, because I wanted to hit the Crocodile, obviously. And while Grass Knot does slightly more to Crocodile, I felt like Surf was a better bring overall because it hits more of her team, and Surf is still a 2-hit KO on the Crocodile regardless. It allows me to hit, the Zapdos for a little bit more damage, the Talonflame, the Crocodile, allows me to hit, it means that Grass Knot isn't resisted on things like the Zapdos, the Talonflame, the Scolipede. Obviously it means that Jellicent is immune to the Surf, but like I said, I still have the Thunderbolt for the Jellicent anyway. So I felt like Surf was a better bring overall than Grass Knot, so that's why I've got it on there. But yeah, that is, the Helolisk got enough speed investment to outspeed max speed Zapdos, just in case she brings that. But yeah, that is Sunless the Helolisk. I have Assault Vest for to switch into the Zapdos pretty well, aside from, I know obviously Heat Wave is going to be doing a lot because dry skin. It means I can switch into the Jellicent pretty decently. Obviously I'm immune to the Ghost, and then I'm immune to the Water Stab as well with dry skin, so allows me to switch into that pretty decently. Aside from Psyshock and Focus Blast and Gardevoir, I can switch into that pretty decently. Allows me to switch into the Starmie okay, aside from Psyshock. Just allows me to have a bit more bulk on it, which is quite nice. And then the last one on the team is Gross, the Cresselia, holding the leftovers with Levitate, of course, and this is max physically defensive, with Moonlight, Energy Ball, Thunder Wave, and Psychic. Now, this Cresselia is pretty ridiculous, because I wanted better switch-ins to Talonflame and to Starmie. And I was looking what investment I'd need to switch into like a Choice Specs Shadow Ball from a Starmie, and I don't need any special defense investment because Cresselia is absolutely gross, so I can switch into like a Choice Specs Shadow Ball from Starmie, no problem. What's nice about this as well is Crocodile can two-shot me with Knockoff if I have an item. If my item is already gone, if for example Crocodile goes for Knockoff against my Cresselia, and I go for Moonlight on that turn that it goes for Knockoff, it's then only like an 18% chance to two-shot Cresselia from a banded Crocodile, which is just ridiculous. That's like a jolly banded Crocodile, and it's a 18% chance to two-shot me with a Knockoff when I don't have an item. That's gross. And I can, Moonlight it up to the point where I'm a good amount of HP, and then like Energy Ball it for good damage. So that's pretty decent. I have Psychic as it's just stab, and it hits things that I want to hit pretty hard for, like, for example, the Hariyama and the Scolipede, main things I want to be hitting. I can T-Wave the Scolipede as well, although if the Scolipede has been worn down ever so slightly, I can just one-shot it anyway. And, yeah, but if that Scolipede's at full, I know I can't knock it out, so I'll just T-Wave it. And then, yeah, I hit the Hariyama for good damage. And then, obviously, I have Energy Ball for the likes of Starmie and Crocodile. Psychic just hitting Zapdos Talonflame for neutral damage. I can't really touch the Gardevoir too much, but I do have okay switches into Gardevoir, because Gardevoir, I feel like she's in a bit of a catch-22 situation with Gardevoir, because I feel like she needs to bring it Scarfed for it to outspeed the likes of Garchomp and Keldeo and Helolisk and things like that. I feel like she needs to outspeed those guys because they can, annihilate her face, and Entei especially, because Entei can just knock around one Sacred Fire. So I feel like she kind of needs to bring Scarfed for it to do work, but if she brings Scarf, she can't lock herself into any one move. If she locks herself into a Psychic move, I bring in my Mega Sableye. If she locks herself into anything that isn't HP Fire, I can just bring in my Ferrothorn against it. So it's just like, as soon as she goes for any kind of move, if she's a choiced Gardevoir, then, I gain momentum, essentially. So I may have to sack something, but as soon as I know what she's locked herself into, I can just go into something to deal with it, because I have something to deal with any one of her coverage moves. So it's going to be interesting to see if she does bring Gardevoir, what kind of Gardevoir it will be, because I feel like she's in a bit of a predicament with it. So yeah, I didn't mention as well, by the way, if Ditto transforms into my Helolisk, I have a pretty good switch in my Ferrothorn. If it transforms into Cresselia, I can go on out into my Mega Sableye, because I don't take anything. It can T-Wave itself if I go in and I'm Mega'd up and it Magic bounces back. That would be hilarious. Energy Ball and Psychic do nothing to my Mega Sableye, and then I can knock off someone's item, I can recover up any damage, burn something, you know. I gain momentum, essentially. That's why I'm hoping she doesn't bring Ditto. Well, I hope she doesn't bring Ditto. At the same time, I kind of hope she does, because I pretty much gain momentum any single time Ditto comes in. Anytime Ditto comes in, I gain momentum, so I'm okay with that. Unless it's Entei. I don't have a very good switch into Entei. The best thing I've got is Cresselia, but I kind of want to keep Cresselia healthy for other things. And if it burns me, I'm not looking too good on that one. And if she expects my Cresselia switch in, she can go for Toxic, and I don't like that one bit. So it's not the best switch in. I don't really have the best switch into my own Entei. But I'm just hoping that, you know, Ditto doesn't transform into me, or she doesn't bring Ditto, whatever. But anyway, that is the team that I'm bringing against Ellie in the Accrington Stantler. I'm fairly happy with this prep. Felt like I got a pretty decent game plan going into this. So yeah, we'll have to see how this one goes. But thank you very much for watching this video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed. Make sure to go down. Links are in the description to my social media and also to my opponent. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like on it. And stay tuned for the matches coming up soon. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys sometime soon. Toodaloo.